All right, so I think that we should start filling in this chart. If you haven't already, please get started. I am going to add, so let's put Opal and Winn Dixie, of course. And then Miss Franny. So those are our characters. Okay, and then the setting, hopefully you guys are able to figure it out. I want to make sure I spell it correctly though, so I'm going to go back to the first page where Opal introduces us to the Herman something Memorial Library. What's the name exactly? I can't remember the full name. The Herman W. Block Memorial Library. So that's where our setting is, the Herman W. Block Memorial Library. Okay. And then what are some of the events that have happened so far in our plot? So I would say that the first thing that happens at the beginning of the story is that Opal arrives at the library and meets Miss Franny after Miss Franny is scared because she thinks Winn Dixie is a bear. So I'd say that is probably the beginning of the story. So I'm going to put beginning, and then let's see if we can come up with the middle. What's something that you think happened in the middle so far? So far in the middle, I would say that Miss Franny tells Opal how she got the library and how a bear came into her library, right? Okay, we'll see if we have any other things through the middle and the end. So let's go back to page 28. Okay, that's where we left off. So let's keep reading there. Yes, ma'am, said Miss Franny. He snatched it up and ran. Did he ever come back? I asked. No, I never saw him again. Well, the men in town used to tease me about it. They used to say, Miss Franny, we saw that bear of yours out in the woods today. He was reading that book, and he said it sure was good. And would it be all right if he kept it just for another week? Yes, ma'am, they did tease me about it, she sighed. I imagine I'm the only one left from those days. I imagine I'm the only one that even recalls that bear. All my friends, everyone I know when I was young, they are all dead and gone. She sighed again. She looked sad and old and wrinkled. It was the same way I felt sometimes being friendless in Newtown and not having a mamma to comfort me. I sighed too. So, right now, what are you thinking that Miss Franny and Opal have in common? Thinking that they both like books, right? But I'm also thinking that they are both sad and lonely and that they're missing people that they used to have in their lives. Like Opal and her friends from her old town and her mom. And Miss Franny just all the people that she's known. Winn Dixie raised his head off his paws and looked back and forth between me and Miss Franny. He sat up and then showed Miss Franny his teeth. Well, now, look at that, she said. That dog is smiling at me. It's a talent of his, I told her. It is a fine talent, Miss Franny said, a very fine talent. And she smiled back at Winn Dixie. We could be friends, I said to Miss Franny. I mean you and me and Winn Dixie. We could all be friends. Miss Franny smiled even bigger. Why, that would be grand, she said. Just grand. So, why do you think Opal offers to be Miss Franny's friend? What do you think? I think that she sees that Miss Franny is really sad, and she senses that Miss Franny is lonely just like her. And right at that minute, right when the three of us had decided to be friends, who should come marching into the Herman W. Block Memorial Library but old pinch-faced Amanda Wilkinson. She walked right up to Miss Franny's desk and said, "I finished Johnny Tremaine, and I enjoyed it very much, and I would like something even more difficult to read now because I am an advanced reader." What kind of person do you think Amanda Wilkinson is? She's kind of stuck up, isn't she? And unfriendly. She didn't even say hello. She just walked right in and said, "I finished this book." And then she, pointed out the fact that she is an advanced reader. That kind of tells you she has a high opinion of herself and kind of likes to rub it in other people's faces a bit. She also just ignores Opal, which is kind of weird, right? Like you think she'd at least say hi or smile at her if she was someone who's friendly. All right. "Yes, dear, I know," said Miss Franny. She got up out of her chair. Amanda pretended like I wasn't there. She stared right past me. "Are dogs allowed in this library?" she asked Miss Franny as they walked away. "Certain ones," said Miss Franny, "a select few." And then she turned around and winked at me. I smiled back. I had just made up my first friend in Naomi, and nobody was going to mess that up for me, not even old pinch-faced Amanda Wilkinson. So, how does Amanda act toward Opal? She kind of acts like she's not even there, right? She's not nice. She doesn't like Opal. But how does Miss Franny act towards Opal? She winks at her. She's kind of like our little secret, right? So they are friends. Miss Franny likes Opal, you can tell. What does the word select mean on page 30? I'm going to give you a second. Select. It says certain ones, said Miss Franny, a select few. It means certain ones or particular. So she means just Winn-Dixie, this certain select one. All right, let's finish filling out our table here now that we finished the book. All right, so characters, we have to add Amanda Wilkinson, even though she just makes a very short appearance. I suppose we could even add the bear, huh? All right, and then the plot. We said the beginning, Opal arrives at the library and meets Miss Franny after Miss Franny is scared because she thinks Winn-Dixie is a bear. In the middle, Miss Franny tells Opal how she got the library and how a bear came into the library. I also think that Miss Franny tells Opal that she is lonely and alone, really. And then I would say that Opal offers to become friends with Miss Franny. And then at the end of the story, Miss Franny and Opal share a special moment when Miss Franny tells Amanda that particular dogs are allowed in the library. Miss Franny and Opal become friends. And how do friends help each other? And here I would say that they stand up for each other, right? Because Miss Franny stands up for Opal. So I'm going to say they stand up for each other. And I would say that Opal is a good friend to Miss Franny because she supports her and cares about her. So, and they support each other. Let's write that in a full sentence. They support each other. I hope you guys like that chapter. This is where in your textbook it ends, but we will continue reading Because of Winn-Dixie together because it's such a good book. And I can't wait to read the next chapter with you. All right, before you close your book, please turn to page 32 and 33. So you can see on page 32 it has our story structure, which we just went over. We went over the plot, the events, the characters and the setting. We also want to make sure that we talk about point of view. I talked about it briefly with you. Remember, point of view is the standpoint from which the text is written. And when a story character is a narrator, the story is told in first person point of view. So Opal is the narrator in the story, so it's first person point of view. When an outsider or somebody who's observing the story is the narrator, that is a third person point of view. Okay, and so they'll use words like he, she, and they instead of in this story where Opal uses I, me, and my. The other important thing that we learned about was a flashback. And in this story, the librarian, Miss Franny, she tells a flashback, and she tells us about when the bear came and visited the library. A flashback is when the author shares an event that happened in the past. So here it says, authors sometimes tell about an event that happened before the time in which the main story is set, and that is called a flashback. Okay? So make sure that you can identify why this story is told in first person point of view. So go back into the story and see where you can find the words I, me, and my, and then go back and point to where the flashback is when Miss Franny tells about a story from the past.